Hi, everybody. Woo! Oh, who's ready for a shiny panel? Was anybody here at the last ship panel yesterday? Nice. You just can't get enough Adam Baldwin, can you? No, you cannot. Hey, is there any flash photography allowed at this panel? As you're taking a photo of me. That's fine. There was no flash. You were very good. Is there any video allowed at this panel? No. Very good. Everyone's well trained. Guys, you just raised $5,000 for Operation Smile. Give yourselves a round of applause for that. Well done. I got to go and run out and go do some other stuff. So I'm not even going to moderate this one. I'm not even going to be here. This is all going to be just you. Don't awe me. This is going to be you and two very special guests who you already know. Please welcome to the stage Adam Baldwin and Nathan Edmondson. Keep it going, keep it going, keep it going, keep it going. Bye.
Hello, Comic-Con again. Yeah, baby. I have a dichotomy today, or a conflict. I have Rangers and Kings today. I know, I have red thread on my crotch.
Don't throw it this
That's
way.
no good. That's no good. I don't know where that came from. Thanks for coming. We had a good panel yesterday. I can't remember. It's all sort of a blur. Comic-Con. We did all sorts of panels and press, and we came over here at the end for a last ship panel that turned out great. And I don't know if any of you were here yesterday. Okay, so repeat customers are always appreciated. Thank you for coming. Nathan and I have been pals for, what is it now, 2-3 years now?
Yeah, I mean, I try not to think about it in terms of time.
Time-wise?
Scars, mostly.
Okay. All right. Well, we have this project that we wanted to introduce today, and so maybe Nathan he's the writer of the story, and you could give us give the genesis of its origins, and we'll talk about some of the artwork that goes along with it, and then we can take questions later about that and other stuff. Okay, so start the clock. 40 minutes. Go. Oh, see, there's a clock. There's a clock up there.
I see it. Yeah, so Adam and I found ourselves trapped at this little convention in the middle of somewhere. It was in the South, and
Let's just say Atlanta.
yeah, let's just say Atlanta, DragonCon, tiny little convention. No, we were at this small con, and there's nothing better to do than talk about making projects and making money and telling stories. And Adam has this, his dad has this incredible, I guess, biography, this history of things he did after World War II, and Adam was really interested in translating that into a comic. And so we started discussing that, and it took a while for that to take form. We found this incredible artist, Greg Scott, and whose work you'll see up here in just a second. And it's kind of it's like a war adventure story, but it's on a distant planet way out in space, and another time and another place and all that. And yeah, and so that came out of that con.
And our hopes are to turn this into a series of graphic novels, and hopefully, games, movies, whatnot. That sort of genesis.
Sneakers,
hats, yeah, right. Facebook pages, Twitter accounts.
Chain of restaurants.
Yeah, cheap restaurants. Yeah.
You guys are writing this. Somebody's writing this down, right? Yeah.
But yeah, should we show it to him now?
Yeah,
let's give you a sense of what it is. We're calling it Ranger. We didn't give him a big cue, but if you guys can roll that, put your finger on the button, maybe turn the lights down. There we go.
There we go.
Oh, hello. All right, there we go. All right, let's try that again. A long time ago, on a distant planet, humans are colonizing One of those planets is Cain. Out on the fringe, a group of rangers keeps the peace. And on that fringe, there is a darkness that one of these rangers will come to fear. Me and Nathan and Greg. And then rock and roll plays, and it's rock and roll, and you're hearing rock and roll, and you'll see this online, and you'll find evil at the fringe, and then subtle, quiet music that gives it a contemplative feel. And then you can find us there. Ba-bum. Microphone check.
I had something funny to say.
You on?
There we go. There we go. I think it was better that way, actually. Can we? Yeah, well, let's take that one and put that on YouTube.
Yeah, we have to overdub some music. Sorry about that, Fran, my friend who did all the work on putting that beautiful video together.
If it gets going with we can re-show it with the audio, but I think I like the version with my beatbox and Adam's, is it live ADR?
Okay, so as you can see, it's gritty, it's jungly, it's dangerous. There are some creepy aliens, and there will be blood. So it's,
Human and alien blood.
And alien blood.
It's a cocktail.
Have we decided what color alien blood's going to be in this yet?
I think it's, I think that the color's decided it. I think it's a purplish.
Purpley, greenish, yucky, muddy.
Because that's what color
purple.
really is. We did our research.
Yeah.
It's,
So, you going to do what?
it's working.
We're going to try it one more time. Okay, hit it.
After an interstellar war, humans are colonizing alien planets. One of these planets is Cain. Beyond the cities, at the edge of the colonies, lies the fringe, where the rangers keep the peace. Deep in the jungles of Cain, there is a darkness. And one ranger will learn to fear it.
I, for one, am off the hinge. I lose the locks. I am saved. Death warrants will carry through in 16982.
I take it back. I like that version better.
Yeah, we prefer that. We prefer that version. The production value is there. I think. Yeah.
And you may notice, by the way, this was reserved for great impact at the end. But Dark Horse Comics is putting this book out. Dark Horse has also done the recent
Serenity and other many others. Yes. Leaves on a Wind, or is it Leaves?
Yeah,
I don't know.
It's sold well. It's great. Have you guys read that?
Yeah.
I had nothing to do with it, so I'm not, but he did.
But it's a great company to be involved with, and we appreciate their liking it. So it's cool. So we're looking at the end of the year, like Christmas time.
We're going to after this we'll have a full announcement with dates and where you guys can order 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5 copies each if you'd like.
They make a wonderful Christmas gift.
Yeah. You can send them overseas. I mean, all kinds of things.
Should we take questions? Or do you
Yeah.
want to take some? Did anybody have any questions? Because we'll
I got
field them.
question for Nathan. How long did it take you to get this from a concept to finished comic?
I guess we've been working on it for actually pencil to paper and all that. Working on it for about 1.5 years now. And we're just about to wrap it, and I'm involved every step of the way, from initially working out a story, then sitting down and, slaving away and scripting, then crying a lot, and then working with the artist, the fantastic Greg Scott. So, you're looking at about, it represents about 1.5 years worth of work.
We wanted to make sure that there was plenty of time not to rush it. And Greg took his time, and you know, I kept hammering Nathan, "Where are my pages? Where are the pages, man?"
That's when I cry.
No, but we wanted to be careful with it and make it as cool as possible. You know. What else? Yeah, you can ask questions about anything. We can talk about love, life, lore. Yes, ma'am. Okay, good.
How do you get the graphic artist to understand your vision of your story? How long does that take, and how many trial and error periods do you go through?
You know, it's kind of, it's like any relationship. There's a period of figuring out that chemistry and, you know, the give and take of what, you know, what they can intuit from you, you know, and you tune in to the artist. So with every artist I've worked with on different books, I've done, you know, I'm working on The Punisher and Black Widow at Marvel right now, and I've done many books at Image Comics, like Where Is and Who Is Jake Ellis and The Activity. And with each one, I'm working with a different artist, and with each one, it's a different working relationship. So I usually like to spend, you know, a few weeks, a couple months, just as much dialogue, and then you get to a point where the train is on the tracks, and you just send them scripts, and the artist goes with it, and you don't really need that much dialogue. I mean, that's kind of when you've hit that sweet spot. No, I mean, it's not as if it clicks, you know, in one day, but you keep working, you know, it's like a marriage. You know, you keep working, and some things get easier, but it's always, you know, it's still going to be work. So.
I like the bumper sticker you gave me. I, Punisher, L.A.
Yeah, we had those when we brought the Punisher out to L.A. That was, you know, one of the moves we made in Marvel, and so we got to do. And he eats it. Any of you from L.A., from the L.A. area? Yeah. Any of you know the Nickel Diner? Yes. Well, it's great downtown. They have the maple bacon donut. Just saying it, my tongue starts to like fall out of my mouth, obviously. But you know, we did stuff like we have him eat there. We put him in landmarks all over, and actually, the LA Downtown News listed us yesterday or the day before as the best resident vigilante. But we did stickers and T-shirts. I punish LA. Yeah.
I want a T-shirt that says "Best Resident Vigilante." I like that. That's a good one. Anyone else? Hi there.
I had seen on Eric Dane on our talk show, it said you guys had stayed on an actual real ship.
Hey, buddy. Hey! Hey, Seth, get out here. He's coming out later. I'm sorry. Before Seth Green so rudely interrupted you, what was your question?
Eric Dane had said you guys stayed on an actual ship for the last ship. Yeah. I want to know your experience of staying on the last ship, staying on the ship with all the guys.
Yeah, they took us on an embarkation. I've been on 2 really great embarkations. The first one was on the USS Halsey when we were doing the pilot episode. They took us out over the horizon. There's a firing range out there, and they go on maneuvers. And they were kind enough to give us the opportunity to go film there. We stayed 2 nights, 3 days while the ship was going through its paces, training exercises. And I just tried to be a fly on the wall on the bridge. They allowed me to actually stay on the bridge while they were going through their exercises. And that was really a big portion of our training, is that you could watch the captain and his bridge crew, because mostly what I do is like officer stuff in the show. So I lived up in O country mostly. I did take a tour of the ship and go down into the bowels of the ship and the engineering. That's all cool. But since my character is up on the bridge most of the time and in the CIC, that's the main thrust of where I was. What are you doing? Stop that. Yeah. But it was very impressive to see. I'm so glad those ships are on our side. If you've ever been up near a guided missile destroyer or understand what it can do, you can read up on it on the internet. But to actually be aboard one at speed, turning to the left, which is port, right? And firing off the 5-inch gun to the horizon 10 miles out and seeing a tight grouping, it's quite impressive, the power and that those things can project. And the 5-inch gun is really just a defensive weapon. And you think about that thing as a defensive weapon. It's pretty offensive, but they have much bigger Tomahawk missiles on board too. And then the other one was on the USS Oak Hill for Fleet Week, just a couple months back in New York City. I was able to go there and screen the pilot of the last ship for the crew there. It was funny, we screened it down a couple places on the ship, and one of them was in the mess with the enlisted folks, and they were talking and chowing, and they didn't really pay attention. Yeah, it's cool, okay, great. But it was like, it's a TV show. But all of a sudden, when that 5-inch gun started firing off, they were like, oh, yeah! Blowing up them Ruski helicopters. They were like into it from that point on. We got them. So,
they never get to do it.
yeah, right. Yeah.
Like, oh, that looks so fun.
So great to blow up them bad guy Ruskies. It was awesome. So yeah, it's been an honor and a privilege for me to be aboard, and I'm humbled in their presence. Yeah. Try to represent as best I can. Yes.
Yes. With the images going, I noticed one of the characters looks kind of like Malcolm Reynolds. Is that just a coincidence?
Well, so Adam is the actor who actually.
You know who Malcolm Reynolds is, don't you?
Yeah, but okay. I'm saying. but we have to actually. We didn't explain this, so we have likeness in the comic, but Adam's not the lead. Right. So we made a conscious decision that Adam wasn't pretty enough. I think.
It's true. You should see the guy who is.
The guy who plays him on TV.
Yeah, right. Yeah. The guy who plays me on TV is the lead, not me. No, we thought it would be useful to use a likeness, but I'm comfortable in the role of the sniper, the supporting role, and I'm really comfortable there, and especially when you can find, because it would be great to make this into a movie, and it would be great to find, that 35-year-old hot guy to do that stuff. I'm not interested in that. I'm interested in being the gruff killer guy behind him, helping him along. That's my role.
35-year-old hot guy.
Take off your shirt. No, don't do it. Don't do it.
I was actually thinking of Zach.
No. Oh, Zach.
Not shirtless, but, as a...
Yeah,
as a leading man guy.
Yeah, hey.
Man, I don't know if we know anybody who knows him. We could get the word, but
anyway, that's down the road.
Adam's character's very cool, though. He's got this haunted. He's been out in space for like way too long. He's very superstitious, and and so he comes at odds with the young recruit who comes in having not seen any action in the war and is basically like, I just need a place to sleep and I can hold a rifle, but he finds that he's in for way more than he bargained for, and so Adam just sort of laughs. Adam's likeness character Galt laughs at him a lot. So, yeah. But anyway, to answer your question, that's the only likeness that we have, at least consciously in the book.
Anyone else? Okay, goodbye. No.
Hey, good morning. This question's
Morning.
for Adam. It's not about the project, although I'm really fascinated about it and we'll look into it. Adam, I've admired your career for a long time. You're actually why I started watching Chuck and thus far ended up here, so thanks for that. One of the things that I admire most about it is the fact that you've been able to have a long, successful career and be respected, yet your personal life is still kept personal. Was that a decision that you made consciously at the beginning, or did it kind of happen that way, and now that you're in the place that you are, you feel like you don't have to be out in, like, People magazine all the time?
Well, I mean, it's just, is it a conscious decision not to parade my family in the public? I don't know. Maybe it's just the opportunities are such. I don't know. I don't even know what to say to that. I'm glad that my private life is relatively private. I mean, it's not a secret I'm married. I have 3 kids. That's not a secret. But I live a clean life. Relatively speaking, I mean, there's some fun partying that goes on here, but for the most part, I stayed out of trouble. and been blessed to have a great wife and 3 beautiful children, and they've sort of kept me grounded. It's not a secret. I have great friends, and some of you are among them. There are a few of you here, and I appreciate that, and I just try to do the honorable thing most of the time. The rest of the time, I just stay out of the limelight. It's hard to find a guy on the golf course, and get in trouble. There aren't a lot of cameras out there in the woods, so it's good. Or on my mountain bike up in the hills. It's hard to find me. Okay. Yes.
Hey, thanks for doing this. This project looks great. So, you mentioned though that it's kind of loosely based on your dad's World War II career, and then we saw Aliens. So, can you give us?
You want me to connect the dots?
Yeah, just a little bit of your dad's story.
Yeah. Well.
The stuff you don't know about World War II.
Yeah, it was like squeezing blood from a turnip, getting it out of him. He had a worldwide adventure after World War II ended, and this is based loosely on some of those adventures. They were not pretty and dangerous, but adventurous and honorable. So I just leave it at that.
What we try to be most true to in exploring that was what happens when you're faced with these incredibly, I guess, violent corners of the world, and when you're faced with, warfare and how that changes you as a person. Especially if you go into it unprepared and not expecting, the darkness that you find, or in whatever form it may come. And so, and this is a story that anybody who goes to war, that can be told of anybody that goes to war, but there are specific elements that just made for really dramatic storytelling. And, but yeah, we took there and made
You could tell some of these stories anywhere on many places on the globe today, and they would hold true. It just putting it out on a distant planet allows a little more objectivity and distancing, and we can heighten the reality a bit. Yeah. And it's more colorful that way because you can make purple blood.
Right. Yeah. And the goal was not to tell a biographical story. The goal was to tell a space adventure.
Right.
And create a franchise that can go on and on and on, and do great things. So and have fun.
Yeah, and also there are principles of goodness that man has to try to perpetuate as he goes out into the the corners of the solar systems, and Joss touches on that a lot in Firefly. This is in no way anything like Firefly, nothing like it at all. Just my likeness. No, but it's really a completely principled. What's the word I'm looking for? You're the writer. Write me some lines.
I'm just not that good.
I'm sinking here, man. What's that? Grittiness. Thank you. Yes, that's not the word I was looking for, but it's a great one.
Great word.
Thank you. Yeah. Yeah.
Good morning. So your idea was at DragonCon. What was the next step in the story, how you got from concept to where you are today?
Well, it wasn't actually DragonCon. That was a...
Let's just say Dragon.
Sure. It was at the very, very small Southeast DragonCon. How did we...
Doesn't matter. Just go. Just go. Doesn't matter.
I don't really remember what the next step was. We talked. For a while, we started talking back and forth with ideas, and then it really did not, like with any comic, it doesn't really become a thing until you find an artist who can do it. So when we found Greg, and when Greg started sending in designs and things, that's when we said, oh, this is real and it can work. It's like that first pregnancy test back. Like, yep, it's real. So.
I remember our first pregnancy test. When it came back, I said the wrong thing.
I did too.
I said, are you sure you did it right? That was the wrong thing to say. But you know, that's my daughter, so I can give my wife grief about that. That's our beautiful oldest daughter. So
I told she came in, and I told my wife, I said, how reliable are they?
wrong. No.
I didn't want to get, but here's the thing. Even then I wasn't, because I just didn't want to get excited prematurely. And then the next morning she threw up in the middle of breakfast, and I was like, we're pregnant!
Good save.
Yeah.
Yes.
Hey, how's it going? My friend Matt's birthday was a couple days ago, and I forgot to call him still. So I have a request from Adam. If you could possibly wish him a happy birthday, his name's Matt, and maybe throw in a Firefly reference.
Where's Matt now?
New Jersey.
Matt in New Jersey. Happy freaking birthday, dude. Why aren't you at Comic-Con?
You should tell your friend to call you. 3 days?
Any other birthday requests? I don't do singing. You all know that. Hi.
Hi. So in light of the project you guys are working on, I was just curious. I know you've been part of Comic-Con for years and years and years, but I'm wondering, like, were you into comics as a kid, and which ones did you really find that you enjoyed the most? More military kind of based or superhero based, anything like that? For both of you.
I grew up reading comics a bit, but I was not, I wasn't that steeped in it. I really liked Spider-Man. I liked I think the X-Men was what, I enjoyed the most. But then, of course, for the last 7 years or so, I've been writing them, so I've been much more steeped in that world. But Calvin and Hobbes, that's a little outside, but I did grow up love Calvin and Hobbes.
Yeah, I was more the Far Side and Mad Magazine and Cracked, that sort of thing. But, we had televised cartoons that I got into as well back then, The Superman was great, that sort of thing, and Underdog. In the secret compartment of my ring I fill an Underdog super energy pill. But I didn't really understand that Sweet Polly purebred was this sort of upper crusty that didn't register when I was a kid.
But now, one of the fantastic things now, because I also work some in film, and is that comics there's no place with more fertile ground for original storytelling. You can bring any story there and work it out, and the overhead is low. So, what might take 5 years and never happen in TV or in film, you can bring to comics and get it to the readers. And the comics fan base, as if you need to explain this with Comic-Con going on right here, but it is more alive than it's ever been. So it is just a great time to be coming up with stories and telling them in comics.
Yeah, from $0 to $1 whatever we are now was very doable, very, very doable for this project. It's the going forward part. Obviously you have to catch an audience, and if we catch an audience, we can move forward or catch some people's eye in Hollywood. That's hopefully I have some ins there. I still get a little helpful. That's kind of the idea, because you want to bring it to an audience, and you want to make some money, and you want to have fun, and you want to tell stories that people will like and enjoy. There are, yeah.
And then you want to come back here in a year and 2 years and talk about how you guys are enjoying it.
Yep. Hi, Barb.
Hi. I just have to say, I love Nathan, who is Jake Ellis, and I think you picked an absolutely perfect person to partner with in the story. So.
Well, thank you. I'm
yeah.
blessed in my collaborators, because I'm not that talented, so I have to ally with people who are.
So thank you.
Thank you.
Hi.
Hello. I have a question for both of you. Nathan, do you ever just catch yourself reading your own comics and cracking up and just binge reading them? And Adam, do you ever watch yourself on screen, but do you remember memories from set, or can you fully enjoy the show as a whole, or are you just kind of more thinking about it? And how is it for your family as well?
I do go back and read. I try not to very often. Like, I like to let lots of time go by before I read anything. But yeah, I mean, I especially, but for me, so much of the joy of comics is in the art and seeing what the artist has done. So I can just go back and I mean, I work with artists whose art I love to and often do put on my wall. So, you know, it's looking through an art book as much as anything for me. Yeah.
If there's show, if I'm in a show that's currently on the air, I'll watch it as it airs so that I can see how it integrates with the commercial. If it's a commercial television project, I don't really go back and look at old work because unless I'm just flipping around, it's like, oh, that's a good scene from Full Metal Jacket. Because that's how I judge a classic film, is if you're flipping around and you have to stop on it. Like Casablanca is one of them. It's like, oh, I can watch this scene from Casablanca again. So there are a few projects that I've done that I like that we'll revisit and watch. But otherwise, I like to see in the current things what's going on so that I can make sure that it's arcing the way we had interpreted it while reading it and interpreted it while shooting it on set, and it's coming out in the wash on the screen. There's some great experiences. Like on The Last Ship, this last episode that aired Sunday night, we were out on these ribs, these speedboats, going to Nicaragua, and well, I don't want to give any spoilers, but that's not telling too much of the story. But anyway, we were doing some action sequences on boats, and that was great, with guns and boats, and these are the fun things that I get to do. Serenity was that movie when I'm hanging on wires off of the back of the mule and getting shot in the leg with a harpoon. Some of the most fun I've ever had. So I will, yeah, believe it or not. Ah, my leg! So I do like to relive those sort of things. Yeah, like that. But not all.
That reminded me, by the way, so I was watching through last year Chuck again, or some of it, and my wife hadn't seen any of it. And I guess she was about a year old at the time. It was my little girl. And whenever there was like and we don't subject her to that much TV, but she'd be sort of playing or doing her thing, we'd have the TV on. And whenever there was like a fight scene or any kind of action, she'd come in and go, stop, right up to the TV. And so she did not approve.
No. Too scary. No.
Why can't we all get along? And then at daycare, I'm telling kid stories. The other day, she's got this little boy, Jojo, who keeps pushing her. And I watched her the other day. You say, don't push, Jojo. And the other day, he came in and pushed her, and she had a cup of Cheerios. She turned around and whack, right in the side of the head. And then she was humming the Chuck theme as she walked away.
Since then, she's been suspended from preschool. And Nathan and his wife have to go to counseling. CPS has come in. All kinds of letters these days. So many letters. Yes, ma'am.
All right, so my question is for Adam. I really liked you in Chuck. Your performance was amazing. And I was wondering if you could share your favorite moment during filming that.
My favorite moment filming Chuck. Oh, shoot. I think it's riding on a helicopter and firing an M134 minigun down. It's just kind of my thing. I'm actually going to get to ride this. Oh, yeah. That was fun. They weren't real live firing, of course. But I have fired one of those in Arizona. They let you do that sort of thing. Not so, not so much here in California, but when I visit there. That and I think kissing Zach Levi. He's up to a smiles for smiles, so I can get away with that. That was so awkward having to do that because he was supposed to be. We were transferring an antidote, and it was the only way to do it because the writers hated us. really wanted to humiliate us. Oh, what else was fun? Yvonne Strahovski is one of the most hilariously bawdy individuals you'll ever meet off camera. She's got this, I don't know if anybody knows any Australian folks, but they can be very bawdy and funny, and she grew up with boys and brothers in athletics and all this stuff. So she was not afraid of curse words. She was not afraid of bodily odors, not afraid of any of that stuff. And so but she had a great sense of humor, still does, obviously. And I'm hoping, I likened her like to a modern day Carol Burnett, and I'm hoping that she'll get a role where she can really let that part of her personality fly. Yeah. So the people on Chuck is what made it so great. They were just wonderful people, and it was all in our department because of Zach Levi's leadership. You know, when you have a guy who's the show is named Chuck and he's playing Chuck, it all rests on his shoulders. If he's a nice guy, you're going to have a good time. If he's not a nice guy, you're going to have a bad time. And we didn't. Like Nathan on Firefly, same thing. Like Eric Dane on Last Ship, I've been blessed to have great leaders in our department, or as, department heads. Yeah.
Hi. In hearing you talk today, I've heard a lot of mentions of ethics and honor. And I was curious if you could talk a little bit how you negotiate your sense of ethics and honor in relationship to the characters you play, particularly places where they differ, and how you sort of get ready to do that on screen.
There was one bit in you have to be careful and save your ammunition. If there are profound character developments that are going to take your character in a particularly conflicting way to who you really are and who you really believe the character to be, then you fight for that. If it's just little things here and there, you don't want to waste your energy fighting over the little things. You make a stand. But you also have to have a solution. You have to have an alternative. And the key is not to be a complainer without any solutions. And there are folks in everybody's work who it's easy to nitpick about things, but it's tougher to come up with the answers and the solutions. So that's what I always try to bring to it. You have to do your homework. A great friend of mine, he's no longer an actor, but when he was, his uncle taught him that it's better to be a hit and shit than shit and a hit. And B, don't do anything morally reprehensible, and you know what those things are. So I tried to steer clear of things that are just horrible. Unless it's in a heightened, cartoony kind of way. I have no problem with ultra violence against ultra bad guys. That's fine in a cartoony, dramatic sense. But pick on, like, you don't want to be punching down, except on Twitter.
Tips for Chip.
That's what Twitter's for. Now, hey guys, I have a question for Adam. I'm a huge fan of Firefly, but actually a bigger fan of Castle. And I love Detective Slaughter. I thought you did awesome.
Slaughter rules!
Everyone was looking forward to it, of course, and Gina Torres. Anyway, I was just wondering how the experience was basically hazing Nathan, and also if you would be open to doing it again sometime.
Oh, I would be 100% open to doing that again. I love that character. Yeah. If there was we actually tried, but there was a conflict, couldn't do it. I don't know how many more seasons Castle's going to be on. I've heard rumors. Could be forever, could be less than forever. But if it's less than forever, I hope I get to squeak in for at least 1 or 2 more episodes. Obviously that character would change the entire dynamic of the show, so he can't be there as a recurring or a regular. That would never happen. But a one-off in a season would be great. Love to do that.
One-offs are the best.
Yeah. Oh, good segue. Speaking of one-offs, do you want to tell us about your alter ego? Or do you want to keep that on the down low for now?
No, we can. We can because we need Twitter followers.
That's true. You do have.
Yeah.
There's a character that Nathan came up with at one of these events, one of these fancy events.
TNT 25th anniversary gala.
Yeah. You were in town and you dressed up as a character named Chip.
Yeah,
Or the character was created on the spot.
They asked me what show I was on, what series.
That's right.
That's right. And
He was there as an he crashed the party, and they said, "So what show are you with?"
I was like, "Oh, I played Chip on Rizzoli and Isles." And so
no such character. There's no such character as Chip.
Yeah, and so long story short, I film as Chip starting Monday.
You can follow Chip at Chip on TNT on Twitter.
He's very snarky.
He's so snarky.
Yeah.
Oh my God! So full of himself. Oh my God!
But his greatest accomplishment is, for those of you who are Rizzoli and Isles devotees, look at that. Can't escape him anywhere.
I know.
And but they're the Rizzles, right? Is the fan club, the Rizzles. So I successfully lobbied to have Rizzles change to Chisels, and so it's Chisels now. And they sent me a shirt that I'm going to wear in L.A. I heart my Chisels, and they. But the great thing is, like, there are other great Bruce McGill and Jordan Bridges. There are other great actors on the show whose names have not been, pulled into the fan name, buzzword. So yeah, but Adam was a part of that. A lot of the TNT family rallied behind it, and Chip's Twitter account. But yeah, so I'll be up here next year as a bona fide actor talking about,
We're gonna Taft Hartley him, get him into the union and all that stuff.
I'm gonna start being a real jerk to be around.
Oh yeah, completely. My trailer, it's a 3-banger. What?
Yeah, on the Paramount
Lot. It's gonna
lot.
be that guy, yeah, on the Paramount. First day at work, just storming around, slamming doors.
When it's too late to recast.
Yeah. Yeah, see, he knows. You read the book. Adam's little black book of acting. Don't be a dick until they can't fire you.
My biography will be I Owe It All to Chip. Autobiography, yeah.
I think we're out of time. Would you mind if I really want to see that clip again with all that sound system? Can we play it one more time?
One more time.
Is that okay? We'll go out on that. Thank you for being here. We love you guys. And thanks to Nerd HQ. Thanks to Operation Smile. Appreciate you having us here. It's a great charity. God bless you all. Comic-Con. Did I throw you guys a curveball? Here it comes. All right.
After an interstellar war, humans are colonizing alien planets. One of these planets is Cain. Beyond the cities, at the edge of the colonies, lies the fringe, where the Rangers keep the peace. Deep in the jungles of Cain, there is a darkness, and one Ranger will learn to fear it.
I, for one, am off the hinge. I am loose, let lots I am safe. The death warrants will carry through in 1692.
Alright, you guys. So we're gonna stay in your seats. Let's take the wings out first. All like 5 of you right here. And then actually rows 9 and 10 you can also filter out that way. And then row 1, go ahead and stand up. It's all Disneyland style. I'm sure you've been to like how many panels now? So you know the drill.
thought you were going to go out that way. Yeah. So out to your right. And then up the stairs into the palm court.